Online shopping has created a boom, but not necessarily the kind we want. This is in products ending up in landfills because many of the big retailers destroy or throw out items that we return. Every year here in Canada, we return $46 billion worth of goods. For more on what we can do to help stop this environmental impact is environmental journalist and managing editor of Corporate Knights Sustainable Business Magazine, Adria Vassal. Good to have you with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
I guess the first question is, why do online retailers choose to dump their products as opposed to resell them?
Well, there's been a massive spike in the amount of returns happening in the world, really. 95% more returns than there were 5 years ago. And retailers are dealing with this massive influx of products coming back to them. And it actually does cost them in labor to put people on the products, to evaluate them, to see whether you've damaged them in some way when they were in your home. Have you spilled something on it? Can they send this back out to a customer? And so for many companies and for many products that are quite cheap to make to begin with, it's actually just cheaper to landfill it or incinerate it than it is to actually restock it on shelves.
So it is more convenience for us, but as we're finding out more and more, convenience has a real cost. And not just products that end up in the trash. Wrapping paper, also a big cause of concern. There's a lot of talk this year about plastic straws, but in 2018, 540,000 tons of wrapping paper and gift bags, that's just wrapping paper and gift bags, filled up our country's landfills. So what kind of effect does wrapping paper have on the environment and all the wrapping that goes with Christmas?
Well, it's staggering. Like I said, we have so many returns going back related to electronics and clothing and so on. And too many of that are going back in landfill. But in terms of the wrapping paper and so on, that's just really, we're talking about forests that are coming down for no good reason. We're wrapping our presents in them with paper that we use for a couple days, and then we shred off. And too many of it is going up in landfill. We are actually, a lot of that is recyclable. But if there's a metallic sheen or glitter on that wrapping paper, unfortunately, it's got to go in the garbage. And the truth is, on Christmas Day, a lot of us are just taking a big black plastic bag and dumping the whole thing, whether it's recyclable or not.
And I guess when you take a look at gift bags, for example, there's glue on the bottom, ribbons attached, so none of that can be recycled, not in the way that we do it here in Canada.
You know what? Gift bags depends. If they're plain plastic paper, then for sure they can be recycled. But I recommend reusing them. I mean, when anyone gives me a gift bag, I have some gift bags here in the house that I'll be using again this year because I've had them for the last 5 years since the last person gave me the gift bag. But we can wrap with so many different alternatives now. We could, you could take old scarves or, even clothing and newspaper, old school newspaper, and wrap your presents in that instead.
Adria, this year France chose to ban the destruction of unsold consumer goods.
That's right.
Is this the best solution if we're looking at the numbers that we were just talking about?
You know what? I mean, the numbers are pretty alarming. In France alone, they're destroying $900 million worth of consumer goods that are in perfectly good condition every year because of returns or old stock. And so I think this is actually the way to go. We're going to start seeing more pressure for different countries, including Canada, to bring in a similar ban. I would like to encourage Canadians to actually, after the holidays, message their MPs and MPPs and let them know that they would be interested in supporting a ban like this in Canada. So we don't see so much perfectly good consumer products go to waste at the end of the season.
This definitely gives us something to think about as we head into the holiday season. And of course, to remember the first two in the 3 R's, right? Reduce and reuse. Last step, recycle.
You got it.
Thanks so much, Adria. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.